Let me share my screen. Just check and let me know if the screen is visible. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to start with the next unit from our curriculum, as we discussed in the last lecture also. The name of the unit is searching and sorting. So basically in this particular unit, we are going to deal with two types of problems. One is problems related to searching and another is problem related to sorting. Okay. So let us first understand meaning of this two terms, that is searching methods and sorting methods. Okay. So in searching methods, basically, we will be searching a particular element. We'll be searching a particular element in given set of elements. In given set of elements. So you will be given some set of elements. Say for example, I give you 10 elements and your problem will be to find one particular element from that particular set of elements. Now you may end up into actually finding that element or you may not find that element, right? So either you will go for a successful search at the end or you may end up into an unsuccessful search at the end. But the problem here in the searching will be to find or to search a particular element in given set of elements, right? Whereas in case of the sorting problems, we will be given unordered set of elements. We will be given unordered set of elements and we need to order them. We need to order them. So in sorting problem, you will be given again some set of elements. Say for example, 10 elements I give you. These elements will be unordered. Unordered means they may be random. Say if I give you numbers, they will be in any order, okay, any random order. And our problem will be to sort them. Say for example, I ask you to sort them in ascending order, right? So smaller to bigger numbers. So such type of problems are categorized as sorting problems. So we are going to study different techniques of searching and sorting in our curriculum. We are going to study different techniques of searching and sorting in our curriculum. Today we are going to start with the searching technique. Today we are going to start with the searching techniques. Okay. Now, as I told you earlier also, what is searching problems? In searching problem, we will be given set of elements and we will be asked to search a particular element in that given set of elements. Now, in order to do this, there are three different types. Linear search, binary search, and hashing. Okay. We are going to solve this using three types of searching techniques. First one is linear search, second one is binary search, and third one is hashing. Now out of this linear search, we have already discussed as one of the applications of linked list, but we are going to rediscuss that problem over here because we are going to solve these techniques using array as far as this chapter is concerned. Okay, but the logic for linear search was already discussed as one of the application problems of linked list. Okay, so there are three ways, or there are three types I could say of searching techniques which we are going to study in our syllabus. First one is linear search, second one is binary search, and third one is hashing. So let us study them step by step. Let us discuss first the first type of linear searching technique, that is linear search. So we'll study now first type of searching technique, that is linear search. First type of searching technique, that is linear search. You are able to see this Excel window properly?
Yes, sir.
It is visible,
Yes,
no?
sir.
Okay, because we are going to deal with a lot of numbers, so I thought of using an Excel sheet, so it will be easy for us to work with numbers instead of doing it on a whiteboard. Okay, so in linear search, as I told you, what is the input to the linear search? Input to the linear search is set of elements. Okay. Input to the linear search is set of elements, Let me increase the font of this sheet so that it will be visible for you people. Okay. Linear search. Input to this problem is set of elements and a key element. Okay. What is input to this linear search problem? Input is set of elements and a key element. Key element is the element which you wish to search in that given set of elements. Now, what will be the output of this problem? Output of this problem will be either you may find that number or you may not find that number, right? So either your search will be a successful search or unsuccessful search. Either your search will be a successful search or it may be an unsuccessful search. So this will be your output. Okay. Now let us take an example in order to understand linear search. Suppose I give you the given elements as follows. Okay. Suppose these are your given set of elements. Take some random numbers over here as an example for us. So suppose these are our 8 elements which are given to us. Suppose these are our 8 elements which are given to us. Our elements are 45, 32, 12, 38, 11, 33, 46 and 13. So these are our given 8 elements. Okay. Now suppose you have been provided with a key element that is suppose 38. Suppose your key element is 38. Suppose your key element is 38. So looking at these elements, you can easily comment that the search is successful because 38 is present in our given set of elements. So our output here in this case would be expected as search successful. Search successful. And we may tell that the element 38 is present at 4th position. The element 38 is present at 4th position. Okay. With respect to the given elements, when I say that given elements are 8 in number, where is 38 present? 38 is present at 4th position. 38 is present at 4th position, right? So what I want to print in my output is, I want to print in my output that search is successful and 38 is found at 4th position. 38 is found at 4th position, right? Now in order to solve this problem, we are thinking of these given set of elements as part of array. Okay, suppose this is our given array that is A. Suppose this is our given array that is A. Okay, this is our given array that is A. Now if this is our given array A, these are the indices of this array 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Array of size 8. Array of size 8. Indexes will go from 0 to n minus 1. So indexes are going from 0 to 7. Okay, and what are my elements? My elements are 45, 32, 12, 38, 11, 33, 46 and 13. Is it clear? Input is clear. Now how we perform this linear search? We first check whether 38 is present at A of 0. What I'll check? Whether 38 is present at A of 0? No, 38 is not equal to 45, right? So we'll move ahead. Again we'll check whether 38 is present at A of 1. Again no, right? Because 38 is not equal to 32, right? Then again we'll proceed further. Whether 38 is present at A of 2. Again no, okay, because 38 is not equal to 12. Then again we'll move further. Whether 38 is present at A of 3. Yes, 38 is present at A of 3 because now 38 is equal to 33. So when it is found equal, then we will make our search as successful. We'll make our search as successful. Now in order to mark our search as successful and unsuccessful, we make use of a flag variable. We make use of a flag variable. Initially we keep this flag variable to 0. Initially we keep this flag variable to 0. What 0 indicates in flag variable? 0 indicates that it is an unsuccessful search. 0 indicates that it is an unsuccessful search, whereas 1 indicates that it is a successful search. This is our definition of defining successful and unsuccessful search. So initially when we start solving this problem, initially we have not found that number, right? So what will be the correct initialization for that flag variable? It will be 0. It will be 0. So initially our search is unsuccessful. As and when we progress in our array by comparing that key element with a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, sometimes when our value is found to be equal, then we are going to change this flag variable to 1 and indicate now that our search has become successful. And in that case, then we have to come out of this for loop. We have to come out of this for loop of comparing. So for that, we will be using break. We have discussed this already during the linked list problem also. That's why I'm going bit fast, because it is easy now for us to implement the same thing with help of an array. Okay, so initially the flag will be 0 when I compare with a of 0. Then when I compare with a of 1, again it will be 0. Then when I compare with a of 2, again it will be 0. A of 3, again it will be 0. Sorry, a of 3 it will become 1. And finally, you are going to break from that particular sequence. Are you getting this? Now let us try to write the pseudocode for this particular part. So let me open the coding environment. So I won't be writing the entire program for you people. So initially you need to write all those include files and then main function, and take the input in the form of array and then take the key element, right? What I am assuming here is you have your input in your array A, okay, and then you also have the input in your variable key, and then we are performing the search. Okay, so I'm just writing the logic of search. Okay, so how search will begin? Search will begin from the 0th index of array and it will go till n minus 1. It will go till n minus 1. So I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. We are going to check if the key element is present at a of I. We are going to check whether the key element is present at a of I. If you go back and see this example, that is what we check, right? Whether key is present at a of 0, no. Whether key is present at a of 1, no. Whether key is present at a of 2, no. Whether key, this is how we proceed, right? So what we check, whether key is present at a of I, whether key is present at a of I, where your I goes from this 0 to n minus 1. So the condition that we write for our for loop is I is equal to 0, I less than n, because here now your n is 8, because your array is of size 8 in this particular example, right? So I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. And every time we check key with a of I, every time we check key with a of I. Okay, so this is how we have written this for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. If key is found to be equal to a of I, then what it indicates? It indicates that our search is successful, right? When will come inside this if? Only when you find that particular number. Only when you find that particular number, right? So if we look at this particular example, initially key will check with a of 0. So that equal to operator will not give you success, right? So it will not come inside if. Your for loop will continue, right? Then again it will check key with a of 1. Again the condition will not be successful. Then for loop will continue. Again key will be checked with a of 2. Condition will not be successful. For loop will continue. Again key will be checked with a of 3. Now here the condition will be successful, because now 38 is equal to 38. So we will come inside this if only when our search is successful. At that time we will be finding that particular key element at a particular array location, right? So here we are going to make our flag as 1. Here we are going to make our flag as 1 and we are going to stop the searching process. Initially our flag will be kept to 0. Okay, initially it will be marked as unsuccessful. Initially it will be marked as unsuccessful. Initially it will be marked as unsuccessful, right? So the moment this key will be found at some a of I while performing the searching process, we'll make our flag as 1. We'll make our flag as 1 and we'll break out of this. We'll break out of this, right? Now once we come out of this for loop, there might be two situations. Either you have found that number or you have not found that number, right? Now in this particular case, when you have found that number, you come out of that for loop in this particular region only. That is when your I reaches 3, that time your key is found to be 38, which is equal to a of 3. So what is value of I in that case? Value of I in that case would be 3, because indexing starts from 0, right? So value of I in that case will be 3. But what I need to print in my output? I need to print in my output that number is found at 4th position, because with respect to the number of elements, we tell the numbers as first number, second number, third number, fourth number, and so on. We don't tell it as 0th number. But in the background, our array indexing is from 0 to n minus 1. So while printing the output, we are going to print I plus 1, so that this 3 plus 1 will be done and we will print a meaningful output to our user telling that the number is found at 4th position. The number is found at 4th position, right? So when you come out of this particular for loop due to a successful search, in that case, the value of I will be found as 3 in our example right now, but we need to print 4. That's why we will be printing I plus 1, right? So once we come out of this for loop, if flag is equal to 1, if flag is found to be equal to 1, then we are going to write a printf statement that the search is successful, element found at percentage d location. Now what is that percentage d? It is I plus 1. What is that percentage d? It is I plus 1. Are you getting this, students? Why this is I plus 1? Because indexing is from 0 to n minus 1. But with respect to the elements, we tell them as 1, 2, 3, and so on, right? That's why we do it as I plus 1. Now, sometimes if you give a key element, suppose I give you another key element, suppose that is 100. Another key element that is 100. So what will happen to our logic? Our logic will start with the for loop of value of I as 0. It will keep on checking whether 100 is present at a of 0, a of 1, a of 2, a of 3, a of 4, a of 5, a of 6, a of 7. So it will complete the check for all the elements in our array, right from index number 0 to index number 7. And in that case, now our for loop will finish. But never the condition of key is equal to a of I will be satisfied, because 100 is not present in our array, right? So when we try to give an element which is not present in our array, in that case, never my logic is going to come inside this if. So the flag is not going to change in that case. So flag will remain as 0 in that case. So flag will remain as 0, which is our initialization. Right? So in that case, if we complete the entire searching process, but if never the flag becomes 1, we can comment that the search is unsuccessful. And that is what we write in our else part, that here our search is unsuccessful. Are you getting this logic? Now you need to write the above part, right? Hash include and other, take the input array, then take the key value. That all things you can write now. I'm not going to waste much time in writing the all codes. This is the main part of our linear search, which I have taught to you. Now, if we analyze this particular linear search more in depth, okay, if we analyze this linear search more in depth, okay, what would be the best case for this linear search? When I say best case, it is for a successful search. It is for a successful search. Successful search best case would be an example in which I ask you to search an element that is 45 in this example. If I ask you to search 45 in this example, what will happen? You will check 45 with a of 0. You will check 45 with a of 0, which is your first comparison that you make. Which is the first comparison that you make. In the first comparison itself, your logic becomes successful. Your logic becomes successful, right? Irrespective of how many elements you have, whether you have 5 elements, 10 elements, 15 elements, 20 elements, 100 elements. But if the element which you are trying to search, if that element is present at first position, that is 0th index, then that could be treated as the best case for the linear search. That could be treated as best case for the linear search, whose complexity will be constant. Whose complexity will be constant. If you remember, in the first chapter, I have taught you different types of complexities. If you remember, what are those complexities? Standard complexities: constant complexity, logarithmic complexity, linear complexity, quadratic complexity, cubic complexity, exponential complexity, and some hybrid complexities, right? So these are some standard complexities I had told that time, right? Constant complexity, again I repeat, logarithmic complexity, linear complexity, quadratic, cubic, exponential, and hybrid complexities, right? So out of that, what was the constant complexity logic? That in constant complexity, the complexity is not dependent on the size of our input. Irrespective of size, you get the output in fixed period of time. So what is this particular case in linear search? Best case. Best case is the element which we try to search is present at first position, or we say 0th index in terms of array. This is that particular case. So it will always be constant, right? Because even if you have 5 elements, 10 elements, 15 elements, 20 elements, or say 100 elements in your array, but if the number which you are trying to search, if it is present at the 0th index or the first position, then always it will give you a constant complexity, no matter how many elements you have in your array. Are you getting this? So the best case complexity for linear search would be constant complexity. Best case complexity for your linear search would be constant complexity. Okay. Now what would be the other cases? That what would be the, I would say, average case or worst case or an unsuccessful search case? So what would be the overall complexity, I would say now, of linear search? So in that case, then we need to progress the searching process. Now, how many number of searches at the most you need to make? So if I give you 8 numbers, at the most 8 comparisons you would like to make. So if I ask you to search 100, right, which was an unsuccessful search. Now, in order to comment that this particular search is unsuccessful, we need to first compare that particular number with respect to all the positions of our array, right? We should compare that 100 with 45, then 32, then 12, then 38, then 11, then 33, then 46, and then 13. And then only finally I can comment that that 100 is not present. So for that, I compared that 100 with all the 8 elements, right? So for 8 array of size 8, I am doing 8 comparisons. So if I have n numbers, I'll make n comparisons. Finally, to comment that the number is not present, right? So at most n comparisons are required. At most n comparisons are required. That's why the complexity of linear search is big of n, which is nothing but linear complexity. Which is nothing but linear complexity. Do you understand this, my dear students? Why it is linear? Because n, it is n, right? For n elements, I will be making at the most n comparisons. I'll be making at the most n. I may require less than n, but at the most I'll require n comparisons, not more than that. So how I indicate that? I indicate that with big O of n. I indicate that with big O of n. And if it is n, in standard complexity, we mention it as a linear complexity. If you remember, constant we write it as 1, logarithmic we write it as log n, linear is n, quadratic is n square, then cubic is n cube, exponential is 2 raised to n. And then we may have hybrids also, right? So here the complexity is n, and that's why we write it as linear complexity. That's why we write it as linear complexity. Is it clear, my dear students? Do you have any query in linear search technique? Anyone? Feel free to ask if you have any query. Anyone is having any kind of doubt in linear search? Is it understood? Roll number 34. Do we have roll number 34?
Hello.
Yeah, is it clear?
Yes, sir. It is clear.
It is clear. Roll number 13.
Yes, sir.
Roll number 13. Do we have roll number 13? 1 3. Roll number 13 is there? Do we have roll number 13 in this lecture?
No, sir.
He is absent or what? Okay. Okay. Roll number 14 is not there. Rahul Patil.
Yes, sir.
Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
What is linear search?
Mm.
What is linear search? Rahul Patil, what is linear search? Where is your attention in this lecture? Roll number 15.
Yes, sir.
Rahul Patil, if you are not interested, you can move out of this lecture. Okay, I'll remove you from this lecture. If you are really not interested, yeah, roll number 15.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is linear search?
Means, sir, our linked list is in sequential manner, and we want to find the key element which is given as an input, and we find out the output as a if search is successful means the element is present in the given list, or search is unsuccessful means the element is absent in the given list.
Okay. Do we have roll number 51? 51 roll number? Harshada Patil,
Yes,
roll
sir.
number. Yeah. What do we mean by constant complexity? What is the meaning of constant complexity? For best case, I have written here constant complexity. So what is meaning of that?
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir, constant complexity means inputs are increased, then output remains constant.
correct. So what is this particular case? That is 45 that I have written over here, best case. What is meaning of that? So what is the best case of linear search? What is the best case of linear search?
The key element is found in first position.
Okay, correct. Key element is found is in first position. Roll number 16. Do we have roll number 16? Bhairavi Patil.
Yes, sir.
What is the linear complexity that I have mentioned here? What is meaning of that linear complexity? Why the complexity of linear search is written as linear?
As we increases the output, we also as we increases the input, we also increases output.
Can you elaborate it more? With respect to linear search, how you will justify that the complexity is linear? What would be the appropriate statement that you need to make? Your answer is correct with respect to complexity, but now I want you to explain that with respect to linear search.
I can't understand, sir. What you
Okay.
saying?
So that's what I was asking you. Now you people should ask doubts then. Roll number 33. That roll number 59 has kept himself on hold. I don't know what he is doing. Rushikesh Patil. He has kept himself on hold. So he also don't want to attend this lecture, it seems. I am removing Rushikesh Patil from the lecture. The moment I started asking questions, he kept himself on hold. CR, you inform him that he was removed from the lecture because he had kept himself on hold. Yeah, roll number 33, Dipti Patil. Can you tell me? Yeah, yes, Dipti, I can hear you. Yeah. Can you tell me why we say that linear search is having n complexity?
Because sir, if we have array of n size, then it has a maximum limit to when we compare each element up to n numbers. Means
Correct.
That's why we say it is a linear complexity.
Correct. So maximum n number of comparisons you will make. Okay, maximum n number of comparisons you will make in order to comment whether the search will become successful or unsuccessful. You may require less number of comparisons. Okay, so earlier girl, who was she? Did you understand now? See what was the answer? Answer was that at the most or maximum n number of comparisons are required in order to finally comment that the search is successful or unsuccessful. You will not require more than n number of comparisons. You may require less than n, but maximum n comparisons are required, and that's why we say the complexity is n. That is linear complexity. That is linear complexity. Okay. Do we have roll number 34, Karthik? Roll number 34, Karthik.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Karthik, can you tell me what was that flag variable? Why we used that flag variable?
Sir, to break out of the loop if the element is found.
Absolutely correct. So in order to maintain the successful and unsuccessful and break out of the loop, we use that flag variable. So what is the initial value of flag variable, Karthik?
Sir, 0.
0. What it indicates?
Sir, means it is the unsuccessful search.
Correct. It is unsuccessful search. So moment we find that particular element, we'll make that flag as 1, which represents further as successful search, which further represents as successful search, right? Then do we have roll number 35, Sanket Suryavanshi?
Yes, sir.
Sanket, what are the 3 types of searching techniques which I told initially? 3 types of searching techniques.
Linear, binary, and hashing.
Correct. We have 3 types of searching techniques that we are going to study in our curriculum: linear search, binary search, and hashing technique. Very good. Very good. So my dear students, what I expect is I expect active participation. And if I find that students are not actively getting involved, I'll be removing them from the meeting. So I have removed two gems today from this particular lecture. So please make sure that you are keeping your notebooks. Okay. Due to the gap in between, the students have turned out to be lazy, it seems. So every lecture I'll be asking questions pointing at few students randomly. So you have to be alert. In case if you don't know the answer, it is okay with me. But if you don't unmute and answer yourself, then and don't give me any reasons of network issues and other stuff. Okay, because now we have to cope up with this situation. We cannot give reasons. Okay, tomorrow if I tell you that there is one company and you have to give online interview, will you tell me that there are network issues? No, that time you will tell, no sir, I'll give interview, right? So don't give those nonsense reasons of network issues to me. All I have to be active. Okay, even if you give wrong answers, it is okay to me. Okay, but your active participation is expected. And whenever I say you that if you have any doubts, so feel free to ask those doubts. Okay, so either you can ask by unmuting yourself, and in case if you are if you are shy, I won't say that you should be shy, but some students are introvert by nature. After lecture also you can ping me and you can ask those doubts, okay, to me. But I want active participation of students. Okay, now coming back to our linear search. So as I told you, the complexity of this linear search is n, that is linear in nature. Now next question come whether we can reduce this complexity, because if we reduce this complexity, our solution will be more effective. Our solution will be more effective, correct? So do we have any other technique which is more effective than linear search? So answer is yes. So as I have already told you, we are going to study three types of searching technique, that is linear search, binary search and hashing. So answer is yes. So there is one more technique which is more effective than linear search, which is the second technique that we are going to discuss, that is binary search. That is binary search. So let us start with the second technique now, that is binary search. The second technique, that is binary search. Is the binary search screen visible to you people?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So in binary search, your input is ordered set of elements. See what is the change over here. What is the input? Input is ordered set of elements. Now in case of linear search, if you remember, your input was only set of elements. So your input was random. Your input was random. But in case of binary search, what is the difference? In the case of binary search, now you know that your input is not random, but your input is ordered. This is a prerequisite to this problem. Input is ordered set of element. Input is ordered set of element and the key element that you wish to search. And the key element which you wish to search. Again, now output will be whether your search is successful or it is an unsuccessful search. So output will be successful search or unsuccessful search only. Now when I say input is ordered set of elements, so that is say ascending order. So suppose I take some elements here for the example purpose. Did you understand now how our input is? This is our input array A. Now, this is our input array A. And these are the indices now. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are our indices now. Did you understand, students, now? Our input. This is our input, which is now ordered. What is important here? The input is ordered. This is very important. Our input is ordered. So it is in ascending order. This is known to us. This is a prerequisite to the problem. And now you are asked to search some key elements. Now you are asked to search some key elements. Is the nature of input and output clear, students? Is the meaning clear? Can anyone confirm? Is the meaning of ordered set of elements clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so input is correct. So input is ordered means it is in ascending order. We cannot take random numbers here. This is very important. Otherwise, then binary search will not work. This is a prerequisite to the binary search problem. And only due to that reason, the complexity is going to come less. But if your input is not ordered, then you cannot apply binary search. If your input is not ordered, then you cannot apply binary search. Then you have to go for that linear search only. Is it clear? Only in the case when you know that your given input is ordered, then only you can make a choice of using binary search. Then only you can make a choice of using binary search. Is it clear, my dear students? Okay. So now one key element we have to search. Okay. Suppose I take first example of key element that I need to search as 25. We'll take multiple examples, but today we'll take one example before we close. We only have next 5 minutes remaining. So I'll take one example today and we'll discuss more such examples for binary search logic in tomorrow's lecture. Okay. But today we'll see one example. Suppose I ask you to search 25. Suppose I ask you to search 25. Okay. Now, what is the logic of binary search? First, I'll tell you. What binary search tries to do is, binary search tries to check whether the key element is present at middle position. What binary search tries to do is, I'll write that statement over here. What is the logic of binary search? It tries to check whether the given key element is present at middle position. We'll try to check whether the given key element is present at middle position. If found, then search becomes successful. Search becomes successful. Otherwise, search continues in appropriate portion of array, or appropriate portion of input, rather I could say. See, what is the next statement? First, it tries to check whether the given element is present at middle position. If I find that key element at middle position, then my search becomes successful and my task is done. But if I don't find that number at middle position, then my search will continue in appropriate portion of my input. Now, what do I mean by that? If I look at this particular example, if I ask you to find 25, right? So when I ask you to find 25 in this particular example, I maintain 3 values, low, mid and high. I maintain 3 values low. Initially low is 0, which is my first index, I would say, of my array, and high is 7, because I need to find the middle position, right? So how I'll find middle now? Low plus high divided by 2. How will find middle now? Middle will be low plus high divided by 2. What will be middle? Middle will be calculated as low plus high divided by 2. What is low initially? It is 0. What is high initially? It is 7. With respect to our example, where we have taken 8 elements in our array. Okay. So how mid will be calculated? Mid will be calculated as low plus high divided by 2. It will be calculated as low plus high divided by 2. So 0 plus 7 divided by 2. That is 7 divided by 2. So ideally it is 3.5, but all these variables are integer in nature. All these variables are integer in nature in our logic. So if I say that they are integer, what will be the answer for mid? Can anyone tell me?
3.
3, correct. Because if I get 3.5 and if it is an int variable, then it will truncate the data values which are present after the decimal. It will not bother about whether it is 3.1 or 3.2 or 3.5 or 3.7. It will simply treat that as 3 because it is int declaration, right? So mid is calculated as 3. So my middle position is 3. Now here we check what is our key element, 25. Now whether 25 is equal to A of mid. Whether 25 is equal to A of mid. A of mid, what is mid? 3. Correct? Whether 25 is equal to A of mid? Yes. 25 is equal to A of mid. So our search becomes successful. Is it clear this much? So this indicates this part. If found, then search becomes successful, right? It tries to check whether the given element is present at middle position. If found, then search becomes successful. Now, if we don't find, then what it has mentioned, then search continued in appropriate portion. Now suppose I take another example here. Suppose I give you key as, suppose 48. Suppose I give you key here as 48. So initially what will be low? Low will be 0. What will be high? High will be 7. Correct, my dear students? Mid will be calculated as low plus high divided by 2. So 0 plus 7 divided by 2. Again, the answer will be calculated as 3. We will check whether key, that is 48, is present at A of mid, that is A of 3. Whether 48 is equal to 25? No. Right? Now what is told is, now if that number is not found at middle position, we will continue the search in appropriate portion of input. Now, dear students, now tell me, if I am trying to search 48, and if my middle element is 25, what is the possibility of 48, whether it will be present on left hand side or on right hand side? Can anyone tell me? Right hand side. Why we can tell that it is on right hand side? Why we can make this comment?
Because it is ordered.
Very good, students, very good. Because we know that our given input is ordered. So if I'm trying to find an element, and if I don't find that element in middle position, then I check whether the number which I'm trying to search is a smaller number with respect to mid, or whether it is a greater number. There will be 3 conditions only. Whether that number will be either equal to that middle number, or it will be a lesser number, or otherwise it will be a greater number, right? So if it is equal, then our search becomes successful, as it happened in case of 25, right? Next thing is, I'll check whether it is less or whether it is greater. Are you getting this? So if it is less, then I have to continue this searching process in this part. Correct? That is in between 15 to 22. And if not, then if it is greater, then I have to continue in this part. That is between 34 to 51. Are you getting this? So we'll continue this example. Still the problem is not yet completed, but we have understood the essence at least today, right? So if we find the element at middle position, search becomes successful, right? Otherwise, if we don't find it at middle position, then we have to continue the searching process in the appropriate part of our input. So either we will continue in left hand side or right hand side. So here we will continue on right hand side with respect to the key 48. So here indirectly we are neglecting the remaining half of our input, and that's why this technique is more effective than linear search. We will discuss this example of 48 in continuation in tomorrow's lecture, and we'll see one more example. This example I have taken from right hand side. We'll take one more example from left hand side part. We'll take another example of unsuccessful search also, and then after looking at those examples, we'll also try to write logic for this binary search in tomorrow's lecture. Okay, for today we will stop. Let me save this file so that we can continue the lecture from tomorrow onwards in the same way. Let me save this file in my system. Let me take the attendance. Just hold on, students.